שאני אזכר.
מה יפה היום, שבת שלום. 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 שבת שלום. שבת שלום. שבת שלום. שבת שלום. Everybody please. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Moda Ani is on page 147. Thank you, God, for waking me up, bringing my soul back to me. Let's join together in singing. We'd love to hear your voices. Our service continues on page 149. After the cantor says something. See, I'm already cutting you out. He invites me up here to share the bima with him, and I won't let him talk. You got it.
Hey
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו לעסוק בדברי תורה.
And on page 150 we read together, Adonai our God, make the words of your Torah sweet in our mouths and the mouths of your people Israel, so that we and our children shall come to know your name and study Torah for its own sake. Praise are you, Adonai, teacher of Torah to your people Israel. Praise are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who has chosen us from all peoples by giving us your Torah. Praise are you, Adonai, giver of Torah.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך יהר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך פן יהי רצון יישא אדוני פניו אליך ואליך ויעשם לך
These are the obligations without measure, whose reward too is without measure in this world and in the world to come. Kibud avaim.
To honor father and mother.
Ugemilut chasadim.
To act responsibly one to the other.
V'hashkema beit midrash shacharit v'arvit.
To hasten to the house of study both morning and evening.
V'achnasat orchim.
To welcome the stranger.
Uvikor cholim.
To visit the sick.
V'achnasat kala.
To rejoice with bride and groom.
Uvayat hamet.
To accompany the dead to the grave.
V'iyun tefillah.
To pray with sincerity.
V'havat shalom mein adam l'chavero.
To make peace between one and another.
V'talmud Torah keneged kulam.
But the study of Torah rivals them all. Elohai, Elohai, neshama shelatata bi tehorai. Elohai, Elohai, neshama shelatata bi Ata verata, ata yitzarta, ata nefachta bi, ve'ata meshamra, meshamra be'irdi. Elohai, Elohai, neshama.
שהנשמה בקרבי מודה אני לפניך אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אבותיי ריבון כל המעשים אדון כל הנשמות ברוך אתה אדוני אשר בידו נפש כל חי ורוח כל בשר איש. Together the ברכות השחר. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לשכל ובינה להבחין בין יום ובין לילה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשה מישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשה לי בן חורים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשה לי כרצונו. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם פוקח עברים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם מרפיר אסורים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם מתיר אסורים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם זורקי הארץ על העמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם רוקה הארץ על המים. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שעשה לי כל צורכי. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המכין מצעדי גבר. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם עוזר ישראל בגבורה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם עוזר ישראל בתפארה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם הנותן ליעף כוח. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם המעביר שינה מעיני ותנומה מעפעפיי.
Sovereign of all the worlds, not in reliance upon the righteousness of our deeds, we place our longings before you. We look instead to your abundant mercy. For what are we, what is our life, and what our faithfulness? What is our goodness, and what our vaunted strength? What shall we sing in your presence, Adonai our God and God of all ages? Are not all the conquerors as nothing before you, and those that renowned as though they had not been, the learned as if they had no knowledge, and the wise as if without understanding? Many of our works are vain, and our days pass away like a shadow. Since all our achievements are as insubstantial as mist, how dare we look upon ourselves as higher than the beasts? Yet, despite all our frailty, we are your people, bound to your covenant and called to your service. We therefore thank and praise you and proclaim the holiness of your name. Ashreinu, ma tov chalkenu, ma na'im goralenu, ma yafa yerushatenu. Page 160.
אשרי יושבי ביתך עוד יהללוך סלה.
אשרי העם שככה לו, אשרי העם שאדוני אלוהיו.
תהילה לדוד, הרוממך אלוהי המלך, וברך שמך לעולם ועד.
בכל יום אברכך, והללה שמך לעולם ועד.
גדול אדוני מהולל מאוד, ולגדולתו אין חקר.
דור לדור ישבח מעשיך, וגבורתך יגידו.
הדר כבודך, ודברי נפלאותיך השיחה.
וזוז נורותיך יאמרו, וגדולתך אספרנה.
זכר עבדך יביאו, ובצדקתך ירננו.
חנון ורחום אדוני, ערך אפיים וגדול חסד.
טוב אדוני לכל, ורחמיו על כל מעשיו.
יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך, וחסידיך יברכוך.
כבוד מלכותך יאמרו, וגבורתך ירברו.
להודיע לפני אדם גבורותיו, וכבוד הדר מלכותו.
מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור.
סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים, וזוקף לכל הכפופים.
הנה חולליך יסברו, ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם ביתו.
פותח את ידיך, משביע לכל חי רצון.
צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו, וחסיד בכל מעשיו.
הרוב אדוני לכל קוראיו, לכל אשר יקראו באמת.
רצון יראיו יעשה, ואת שבתם ישמע ויושיעם.
שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו, ואת כל רשעים ישמיד.
תהילת אדוני ידבר פי, ויברך כל בשר, שם קודשו לעולם וערב.
ואנחנו נברך יד,
מעתה ועד עולם, הללויה.
יאללה לי, 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 יאללה
Praise your name, Adonai our God, and let every breath glorify your majesty forever and ever. Across the reaches of time and space, you are God. We have no ruler but you. God of all that has been and all that is yet to be, God of all creation, sovereign of all generations, all praise to you. You guide the world with steadfast love, your creatures with tender mercy. You neither slumber nor sleep. You awaken the sleeping and arouse the dormant. You give voice to the silenced and freedom to the captive. You lift up the fallen and raise the oppressed. To you alone we give thanks.
Though our mouths should overflow with song as the sea, our tongues with melody as the roaring waves, our lips with praise as the heaven's wide expanse, and though our eyes were to shine as the sun and the moon, our arms extend like eagle's wings, our feet speed swiftly as deer, still we could not fully thank you, Adonai our God, God of all ages, or bless your name enough
for the bounty goodness
you have bestowed upon our ancestors and on us.
הגדול בחבור שמך, הגיבור, הגיבור לנצח, והנורא בנורתך. המלך היושב על כיסא רם, על כיסא רם בנית. Join me now, לילה לילה שוכנה במרום וקדוש שמו, וכתוב רננו צדיקים באדוני לישרים נאווה תהילה בכי ישרים תתהלל ודברי צדיקים דברה תדומם, ובקרב קדושים תתקדש, ובמקלות רבבות, עמך בית ישראל ברינה יתנהל, שמך מלכנו בכל דור ודור, ישתבח שמך למלכנו האל המלך הגדול, המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ, בשמיים ובארץ. ברוך אתה אדוני אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודות, אדון הנפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך אלכי העולמים. יתקדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויעלה מרי ורח ירתי, וימלך מלכותי, בחיי חול וביומי חול, וחיי לכל בית ישראל. בהגלה, בהגלה, ובזמרה, והימרו, יש מרבה מברך, להלך ועל ועלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתנהר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה, לעילמי לכל ברכתה בשירתה, טוב בחתה ונחמתה, לאמירה ואמרה.
Page 166. All will thank you, all will praise you, all will declare nothing is as holy as Adonai, all will exalt you who gives everything form Selah. You are the God who daily opens the doors of the eastern gates and unlocks the windows of the firmament. You bring out sun and moon for their hiding places, and illuminate all the world and its inhabitants, created by your compassion. Hameir la'aretz v'ladarim aleha barachamim, u'tuvo mechadesh b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh v'reshit, titbarach Moshienu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, v'al me'orei or shasita yifa rucha selah.
Or chadash, al Zion tahir, or chadash, al Zion tahir, or chadash. Al Zion tahir, or chadash, al Zion tahir. V'nizkeh kulanu, ve'yari oro. V'nizkeh kulanu, ve'yari oro.
Baruch atah Adonai yotzer hameorot. Avinu abarachamon merachem rachem aleinu ותן בליבנו להבין ולהשכיל, לשמוע, ללמוד וללמד, לשמור ולעשות ולקיים את כל דברי תלמוד תורתך באהבה. ובנו בחרת וקרבתנו לשברך הגדול, סלע באמת להודות לך ולייחדך באהבה. ברוך אתה אדוני הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. שמע ישראל אדוני אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושילת לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשובך ובקומך, וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתרתם על מזוזות ביתך ובמשרדיך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם,
אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. On page 173. True and enduring, beloved and precious, awesome and adorned, good and beautiful is this eternal truth. The God of the universe is our sovereign, the rock of Jacob, our protecting shield. From generation to generation, O God,
you endure and your name endures. Your throne is upright, your faithfulness everlasting. Steadfast and precious, your words are resplendent with life and sustaining power. They stand the test of time. Adonai, you redeemed us from Egypt and set us free from the house of bondage.
In turn, your cherished ones offered songs of praise and melodies of thanks to you, the sovereign living God. High and exalted, mighty and awesome, you humble the proud and raise the lowly. You free the captive and redeem the oppressed. You answer the moment we cry out. Praises to God Most High, who is praised and is praiseworthy. Moses, Miriam, and the children of Israel answered you with this song of rejoicing.
בעזרת ישראל, ובדרך יומך יהודה וישראל. גואלנו, אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש, ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני וחיה מדים, אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו בשני עפר, מחמוך בגבורות ומדום אליו
Mashiach Yeshua.
ולמען אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. מקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשביל ארון, ככתוב על יד נביאיך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מאדיר, שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אבינו מלכנו מושיענו לבוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודל לך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודל לך, ולנצח נצחי קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש, בשבתך אלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש, לא ימוש לעולם לבד. אז כן, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודל לך, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודל לך. לה 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 ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue now privately with the prayers in our Siddur and our prayer book and the prayers that each of us had in our own hearts.
Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha. Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha. Chen v'chesed, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. Chen v'chesed, chen v'chesed v'rachamim. V'rachamim. Sim Shalom. Sim Shalom. Tova Uvracha. Sim Shalom. Tova Uvracha. Aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amecha. Sim Shalom. Sim Shalom. Tova Uvracha. Sim Shalom. Tova Uvracha. Baruch atah Adonai, Havorech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Sim Shalom. Sim Shalom. Tova Uvracha. Sim Shalom. Tova Uvracha. Tova Uvracha.
Before we begin our Torah service, a couple of things are going to happen. One is we will take the Torah out and have a processional around the congregation. When the processional comes back to the front, those that are under the age of 6 with a parent, please, are invited, if you would wish, to go and have some learning and snacks and activities with our teacher David Gershon and Erica. And that'll be in room 307. If you are past that age and not yet bar and bat mitzvah, you're invited with our teacher Suzanne Hirsch to go and join up in the room next door. I believe it's 308, 309, for your own drama, games, and activities, and also snacks, very important. And the rest of us will stay for some beautiful simchas. And so if you're here for a simcha and you want to pop out for one of those opportunities after the right moment, you are invited to go and join at any of those moments, and our ushers can help show you to the right place as well. Before we invite the Torah into the community, first we take the opportunity to turn to those on either side of us, in front of us, behind us, and welcome each other and wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. Page 186.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ein yemasecha, malchutecha, malchut kol olamim, u'memshatecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai melech, Adonai
may be seated. It is my honor this morning to call Talia Birnbaum to teach us some words of Torah. And you may want to turn your Plout commentaries, the large books, to page 154. 154.
Our portion is Chaye Sarah, the life of Sarah, even though Sarah passes at the beginning of the portion. Abraham and Isaac are completely devastated. After they bury Sarah, Abraham and Isaac went home, and Isaac sat in his mother's tent all dark and sad. Abraham felt as if he wanted to cheer up his son, so he sent off one of his servants, Eliezer, to find Isaac a wife. He brings Rebekah, a woman of great kindness and beauty, back with him. Fast forward to the moment of truth where Rebekah and Isaac meet. Isaac is wandering around in the field next to his home, and he may have been praying to God, asking for comfort. Then Isaac looks up and sees camels coming, and on the camels there was Rebekah and Eliezer. Rebekah asks Eliezer, "Who is that man striding towards us?" "That is my master," replied Eliezer. As Isaac continued walking up to Rebekah and Eliezer, Rebekah put on a veil and hid her face from the stranger. Eliezer tells Isaac all that he has done, and Isaac takes Rebekah into his mother's tent. He makes her his wife, and he loves her. Thus, Isaac finds comfort after his mother's death. The rabbis debate and are very upset over the order of the sentence, "He makes her his wife, and he loves her." Normally, one would say that love comes before marriage. And a great story about love that I know is one of my Baba and my Zaidi. My Baba and my Zaidi met on the tennis court of the JCC, and they almost instantly fell in love. A few days later, my Zaidi took my Baba out to buy their house, and 6 weeks later they had gotten engaged. My dad was born this week in Jewish history, 45 years ago, and his name comes from this week's Haftarah reading, Solomon. My Baba had a stroke only 3 days ago and was sadly unable to join us today, but I feel her presence with me on the bima right now. The JCC is also where my parents met, along with the conspiracy of this week in Jewish history. My mother's Hebrew name is Chaya, and her middle name is Sarah. They were set up by Howie and Sari Grosinger at the Judy and David Hanukkah Palooza concert. Howie said, Howie and Sari direct a camp called Robin Hood, and they were doing a pop-up event during the Judy and David concert. My dad was asked to help them out, and my mom was working with Judy and David. Howie and Sari introduced my mother to my father, and that is when they met. 2.5 years later, they had gotten engaged, and my father actually proposed to my mother on the island in the middle of the lake at Camp Walden after they had just bought the property. Pretty romantic, right? Just so you all know, Judy and David's Hanukkah Palooza is happening this year on December 15th at City Playhouse. Visit HanukkahPalooza.com for more details. I wouldn't really be here without them, so it's the least I could do. I was also born during this week of Parshat Chaye Sarah, and with all of these stories of Besheret, destiny, you could say that this is all the work of God. Rabbi Harvey Fields explains that this Torah portion, which says that love is something that comes after marriage, teaches us an important lesson. He teaches that while people think that love is only God's creation, it is really ours, and we have to maintain it. Like a plant, it is not going to live if we leave it alone. Only if we feed it, water it, and give it life will it flourish.
So for our first Aliyah today, we call Isaac Birnbaum to the Torah. And we know that thoughts of your wife are with you as she's unable to be with us. Yamod Yitzchak ben Dov Gershon Aliyah Harishonah.
Baruch Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten Torah.
Amen. Vayhiyu Chaye Sarah Mea Shana V'esrim Shana V'sheva Shanim Shnei Chaye Sarah V'tamot Sarah V'kiryat Arba he Chevron be'eretz Canaan. Vayavo Avraham lispod lesara velivkota. Vayakom Avraham me'al penei meito. Vayadaber el b'nei chet lemor. Gervet oshav anochi imachem. Tanu li ahuzat kever imachem. Vekbara meiti milafanai. Vayanu v'nei chet et Avraham lemor lo. Shema'enu Adoni, Nesi Elohim atah betochenu, Bemivhar kevarenu, Kavor. Et meitecha, Ish mimenu et kivro, Lo ichla mimcha, Bikavor meitecha.
Baruch atah Adonai melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet b'chai olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Baruch Hu Adonai Amorah.
Hang on. Let me just.
Oh yeah,
Just a minute.
one more thing.
Lamod Talia mi Beit Shlomo v'chaya Chazak.
Baruch Hu Adonai Amorah.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Borach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Et Torto. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Vayakom Avraham Vayishtach lem haaretz livnei chet V'yedaber itam lemor Im yesh en nafshechem Likabor et meiti milefanai Shema'uni ufiguli befron min sohar Vayiten li et me'arat hamachpelah asher lo Asher biktzeh sadechu V'kesef malei itnena li V'tochachem lachuzak kaver Efron Yoshe betoch b'nei chet Mayan Efron Hachiti et Avraham Be'oznei b'nei chet L'chol Ba'eshari ro lemor L'adoni shema'eni Hasadeh natati la V'hamera asher bo lecha Natatiha Le'nei v'nei ami Natatiha la Kevor meitecha Vayishdachu Avraham Livnei am haaretz V'yadaber el Efron Ve'oznei am haaretz lemor Ach imatalu shema'eni Natati Kesef hasadeh kach mimeni V'ekbara et meiti shama Vayan Efron Et Avraham lemor L'adoni shema'eni Eretz arba me'ot shekel kesef Ve'ni uvein ha'mahi Ve'et meitcha Vayishma Avraham El Efron Vayishekol Et Avraham Lefron Et HaKesef Asher Diber Be'oznei V'nei chet Arba me'ot shekel kesef Over lasocher Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher natan lanu Torah emet V'chai olam nata betochenu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Mi sheberach yimoteinu Sarif karachel v'leha Hu yivarech et Taya mi Beit Shlomo v'chaya Shal Tayam lichvod haTorah Lichvod haShabbat V'lichvod Beit HaMitzvah.
May the one who blessed our ancestors in ages past, so too bless you, Talia, who have come and had this aliyah to the Torah in honor of this Shabbat, in honor of our sacred Torah. and in honor of the Jewish people. We hope that you will always be amongst those who are responsive to the commandments of our God and the needs of our people. And together we say,
Amen.
Amen. And kiss your parents and your grandfathers. We call Cantor Meisner, Chazan Binyamin Zev, Ben Yitzchak Levi V'Rivka, to come and continue our Torah reading as we are honored to call Jessica Rohr and Louis Century to the Torah. And if you don't mind, can you bring your newborn baby with you? And we'll give her a name in a second, but right now we call Ya'amdu Chava bar Aryeh Velisheva Label Ben Michael bar Barbara Aliyah.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Ba'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikohanim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. ויקום שדה עפרון אשר במכפלה אשר לפני ממרא השדה והמערה אשר בו בכל העץ אשר בשדה אשר בכל גבלו סביב לאברהם למקנה לעיני בני חת בכל באי שער עירו ואחרי כן קבר אברהם את שרה אשתו אל מערת שדה המכפלה על פני ממרא חברון בארץ כנען ויקום השדה והמערה אשר בו לאברהם לאחוזת קבר בעת בני חת.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Put the cover on the Torah as we.
Thank you. My hand.
God and Creator, happy parents have come into your presence to voice the longings of their heart in prayer. Give them the wisdom to teach their child be faithful to the heritage of the household of Israel, that she may always grow up with the knowledge that you are near to her, guiding and sustaining her. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam gomel chasadim tovim. Blessed is the eternal our God, ruler of the universe, whose love and kindness extend to all the world. And we also say Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higyanu b'zman hazeh.
Amen. Amen.
O God, for the gift of this child, we give thanks, praying that we will be worthy of the blessing and responsibility of parenthood. May we show our gratitude to you by leading our daughter in the way of righteousness. Teach us to guide and instruct her, that she may grow up to be loyal to Judaism and a worthy member of the Jewish community.
Mishaberach avotenu v'imotenu. May the one who blessed our mothers, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless this soon-to-be-named child with life and health. May she be a joy to her parents. May she live to bring honor to the house of Israel, blessing to all of humanity, and glory to the name of God. Now, in the presence of loved ones and friend and this congregation who I knew will support her as she is a fifth generation Holy Blossom member. We now give you the name of Chava bat Label V'chana. So your name in English, as you've already heard, is Eva Maeve Wiley Century. And you get the same name as our mother of all, of Eve, of Chava, from the household of your parents. May become a name honored and respected for wisdom and good deeds. May God's blessings rest upon you now and always. And I believe your parents are going to explain why they named you.
Yes, that's right.
We're going to say a few brief words about the name and why we chose it and what it means to us. As was just mentioned, we named our daughter Eva, Maeve, Wiley, Century. Eva and Maeve are names that Jess and I really liked. Eva, meaning life or living one. We named our daughter Eva because we hope that she will embrace life and live it to its fullest. And Maeve is a warrior queen in Irish legend, which also means the cause of great joy. Jess is now going to tell you a little bit about Eva's third name, Wiley, and the three people that name embodies for us.
Eva is named after my mother's parents, who we called Grandma and Grandpa Wiley, and my Aunt Sheila, whose middle name was Wiley. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of these people. My Grandpa Wiley immigrated to Canada at 14 from Scotland. He had a soft Scottish accent. That would be weird. And a twinkle in his eye. By profession, he was a scientist and a professor. He was the type of person who was compelled to ask big questions and search for answers. He was also an artist and dedicated his life to art after he retired. He had a free spirit and always encouraged his children and grandchildren to be creative. My Grandma Wiley lived until she was 94. She was incredibly resilient and seemed to have 9 lives, one for each decade. She was strong-willed and independent, and she marched to the beat of her own drum. For example, she played hockey at U of T in the 1940s on a women's team, and throughout her life she designed and made all her own clothes. She was devoted to her community, and she always helped those in need. Finally, my Aunt Sheila was truly a caring and thoughtful person. She was the kind of person who would get you the gift you never knew you wanted, because she really knew and cared about you. She loved being active and outdoors and spending time with her nieces and nephews. She had a laugh that warmed the room.
Our hope is that by carrying forward the name Wiley, our daughter Eva will be blessed with some of the qualities that made these three people so special.
So, Eva, Chava, the congregation gives you a couple of gifts. Of course, a subscription to PJ Library, which you've got to go online and fill out. And so for any of you who do not know, our community, through the wider Jewish community, gives free books and music to every child in the community. So you've got to go on and sign up for that. So here you guys go with that. Also, her name has been recorded in our Eternal Record of Births, which goes back pretty far. I'm not sure we have all 5 generations, but you can check later. And our sisterhood has knit a sweater, which we hope will fit you at the right season. And if not, there's always air conditioning in the summer, so you can have that. And a CD from our music classes from Marky Weinstock, who does a lot of music with us. So I hope you'll come and hear that music and be with us lots. So
thank you.
That to you as we give you this priestly benediction. Yivrecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you. Yer Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha, may God always be aware of you and kind to you. Yisad Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom, may God lift God's countenance upon you and give you the most precious gift, the gift of peace. And together we all say, Amen, and let's sing. Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, simen tov. That joy in our hearts, we do take a moment now to think of those that are in our circle of family and friends who are in need of our prayers for a full recovery, for healing of body and healing of spirit. In particular, at this time, our community thinks of Veronica Glazer, Miriam Schleifer, Zarzisa bat Tova Malka, Gershon Yosef and Bluma Miriam, Tova Malka bat Leah, Natalie Bloch, Zeva bat Yosef Eliyahu, Yosef ben Abraham Rachel, Nisim Yona ben Harav Natan Shmuel Vesheli, Liora Ruth bat Abraham Esther, Gitel Basha bat Dov Rachel, Sarah Leah bat Yaakov David Miriam, Rachel Riva bat Yerucham Yaakov Malka, George Dimopoulos, and Talia's grandmother Sarah Menya bat Tibel the Nachum Dov. Are there other names that we are thinking of at this time? Our Yisrael Cholim, our prayer for healing, on page 191. Seated. Our Haftarah today is from the book of Kings. It is about King David. King David is an interesting figure in our tradition. He has a propensity for being out there and dancing and showing everything as he dances. He sees a beautiful lady sunbathing over at a roof and sends her husband off to be disposed of before he marries her. At his old age, he gets matched with an exceedingly beautiful young person who goes and makes sure that he is warm as he ages. And in our Haftarah today, we see that it's his child with this lady that he saw on that roof that ends up being the successor. King David ends up being a very interesting and problematic figure. And it is noted that the temple is not built by King David. Right? When we come to our moment of peace and security and the affirmation of what does it mean to continue on the Jewish people, we wait until their daughter together, Shlomo, the namesake of Solomon, right, is the one who comes and builds that temple. So we hope and know that from a flawed parents, we can have beautiful children from generation to generation, and that sometimes we can have leaders that we look at and think are wonderful, and also know that they're great and wonderful leaders, but sometimes they're not perfect as well. And so I think both thoughts are important for us to hold at the same time. So our Haftarah today is found on page 171 of our Chumashim, 171, and we're starting with verse 26 on that page.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar mineviim tovim v'ratzah b'divreihem hane'emarim be'emet Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah uveMoshe abdo uveYisrael amo uvinviei ha'emet v'tzedek veli ani avdecha uletzadok hakohen velivnayahu ben Yehoyada velishlomo avdecha lo kara Im me'et Adoni hamelech nihaya hadavar hazeh velo hodata et avtacha mi yeshev al kiseh Adoni hamelech acharav vaya'an hamelech David vayomer kimuli levat shava Vatavo lifnei hamelech, vatamon lifnei hamelech, vayishava hamelech, vayomar chai Adonai, asher pada et nafshi mikol tzara, ki kasher nishpati lach, Adonai Elohei Israel lemor, Ki shlomo v'nech imloch acharai vehu shev al kisi tachtai ki ken e'eseh hayom hazeh vatikod bat sheva apayim eretz vatishachu lamelech vatomer Yehi Adoni Hamelech David Leolam Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol amim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh ha'medaber u'mekayem she'akol devarav emet v'tzedek Al Torah ve'al havodah ve'al hanivim ve'al yom haShabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha ve'limnucha lechavod u'letifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umevarchim otah itvarashim habefi kol chai tamid leolam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Let's all rise as the Torah is brought to the table, and we say a blessing for our congregation, our country, and a prayer of protection over the state of Israel who needs it at this time. So on page 195, may the one who blessed our ancestors bless this sacred congregation, all who serve it and those who contribute to its future. May all who seek your presence find it here. Bless the house of Israel in all lands near and far. Uphold us, shield us this week and every week from oppression and hatred, and bring to fulfillment the word of Moses your prophet. The eternal your God will make you 1,000 times as many as you are, and will bless you as promised. And together we say, Amen. We pray for all who serve in positions of leadership and responsibility in our national life. Protect them as they aid and defend your creation. Inspire them to be responsive to your will, so that Canada may be to the world an example of justice and compassion. Deepen our love for our country and our desire to serve it. Cause us to see clearly that the well-being of our nation is in the hands of all its citizens. Keep our homes safe from affliction, strife, and war.
Avinu, Avinu, Sheba Shamayim.
Tali mentioned many coincidences of this date and this time and this Torah portion in your family. And I don't think it's a coincidence that the character you chose to speak about, or the two characters, but really the character that has the larger part in this week's parashah, in this week's Torah portion, is Rebecca. Because I see a lot of Rebecca's character in you. So Rebecca is someone who was selected to be one of the matriarchs of the Jewish people because she was extra kind. Right? There was something extra about her. The townspeople, says Eliezer, the women of the town will come up and will get water. And it's the one who says, not only for you, but also your camels will be the one that will be the matriarch of the Jewish people, who will be the continuance in the line and the chain of tradition from Abraham down to us today. The one who is extra kind will step forward and will see to my camels as well. And Rebecca did. She was different than the people around her and stepped forward with that extra kindness. Also, when Rebecca is asked, will you go and travel off to a place that other people haven't been yet? Will you be a trendsetter? Rebecca says, yes, I will be in front of the pack. I will go to the land of Israel, and wherever that adventure takes, I'm willing to take that leap of faith and step out in front. We know that Rebecca had to leave her family to go on that journey, but you have wonderful support from your family on that journey. Your parents themselves, some would say, are trendsetters. They are cool in their own way, and even having 4 children, which is the new cool. So that's, right? So
you just tell that they're cool by what they're wearing.
Exactly. And so you have a lot of support as you step forward into the world in your own way. And Rebecca was also someone who looked, when it came time to say which of my children will be the one who will be the continuance of the Jewish people, also looked for the one who had the most kindness and compassion inside of him. Right? So he was different, or she was different, and part of that difference was tied to kindness and compassion and trying to build the world and the people that she wanted to see around her. So today you step forward as someone who is now subject to the commandments of our God and the imperatives of the Jewish people. And we hope that you will be amongst us, but continue to push us and lead us to let your own personality shine forth, because we know that's a personality that is rooted also in kindness and compassion, that you will help bring us to more through the way that you live your life. So with that hope and that blessing, we give you the same blessing as we said to that beautiful child a few moments ago. Yivrecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, may God bless you and keep you. Yer Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha, may God always be aware of you and kind to you. Yisad Adonai panav elecha v'yisem lecha shalom, may God lift God's countenance upon you and give you the most blessed gift in the whole world, the gift of peace. And together we say, Amen. We invite your family, your extended family, to rise in their place as we sing Shehachianu, thanking God for enabling us to reach this moment of joy. Also, we invite the Roar and Century family to rise in their place as well, as we thank God again for enabling all of us as a community to come and share in such joy.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyanu v'higianu hazman hazeh.
May be seated. When I learned I was going to be the solo rabbi for the Shabbat, I said, less pressure on me. There's no other rabbis watching. And then, of course, we have Rabbi Danny Galib, who's here this morning. And so it's a pleasure to have you with us and with your family celebrating the Simcha. The Maggid of Dubnov told this story. There was once a town where the leaders of the congregation there were upset with how the people were acting, how lax they were as Jews. And in order to help the people change their ways, they went and found a rabbi, the most bombastic personality they could find, a huge booming voice, sermons full of fire and brimstone, but also of kindness and love. The words of the sermon were like paintbrushes. As each one brushed against the heart of the listeners, all the colors of emotion available to the human heart were painted there, from fear to sorrow, anguish to love. And as soon as everyone left the synagogue after those sermons, nothing changed. The town was still lax in its observance of Jewish law, so they fired the rabbi and brought in a new one. In hiring clergy, or really for any position, most people look for the same except different than the one who came before. And it was the same in this situation. They found a wonderful new rabbi who was meek and erudite. His sermons were like listening to a house being built brick by brick by brick by brick by brick, so that in the end there was no question to the construction and design. Though not always entertaining, they were very interesting, and there was no arguing that the logic was irrefutable. But as soon as the townspeople left the synagogue, well, the heart leads away from where the mind leads, and life was life, and nothing changed. So they fired him. And while they were waiting for a new rabbi to come available, or maybe for a reason because no rabbi really wanted to go work in that town anymore, one of the lay leaders stepped forward. A businessman came to the fore. He told of his own struggles to run an ethical business. He lamented the infrastructure of society which led him to be so lax, the systems and how he tried hard to navigate them. And eventually, because it took a long time to find a rabbi willing to risk coming to that community, the systems and then the people there started to change. This story is not about rabbinic employment practices. And in fact, and you're going to love this, I'm not even going to explain the story. Danny Massing, one of the beautiful and spiritual voices of our movement, says to explain a Hasidic parable is like looking at only one side of a diamond. But you should know that this parable is a story about Abraham, our father. Between burying his wife and helping find love for his son, it says in our portion this week, V'Avraham zaken, ba b'yamim, v'Adonai barach et Avraham b'kol. And Abraham was old on in his years, and God blessed Abraham with everything. What does it mean to be blessed with everything? In the Midrash, Bereshit Rabbah, Rabbi Yehuda says, what does it mean with everything? Well, this is a secret of the text. Because Abraham had sons. But in order to fulfill the commandment, be fruitful and multiply, you're also supposed to have daughters. And therefore, this line says that there's a secret in the text that Abraham had sons and daughters, everything. Other rabbis were not happy with that explanation and gave their own. There are three from Rabbi Levi that I want to pull out this morning, also in this midrash from the land of Israel from around 400 to 600 of the Common Era. One of Rabbi Levi's explanations is, what does it mean to have everything? Abraham had the ability to rule over his desires. Number two, what does it mean to have everything? That his son Ishmael reconciled with him in his lifetime. And number three, what does it mean to have everything? That at this moment, God never tested him again. In order to understand these three teachings, we must think, what does it mean not to be whole, but rather, what does it mean to be incomplete in some way? We have two desires, according to the rabbis. Yetzer HaTov, the desire to give everything away. And Yetzer Hara, the desire to acquire everything. Yetzer HaTov, the desire to help without limit. And Yetzer Hara, the desire to demand beyond reason. Sometimes we enable in relationships because we can't help but be so giving. We give opportunities beyond when those chances should have ended. Or we take and we try to impose our will to conquer in relationship, beyond what should be allowed to us, beyond what we reasonably need. What does it mean that Abraham was gifted with all? That he was gifted with the ability to conquer those extremes and find a moderate way of living life. What else could it mean to be incomplete in some way, to not have it all? Many of us come from families that are broken in some way. Families where siblings, uncles, aunts don't talk, or do talk but without restraint. Some of us have children, parents, siblings in trouble that we don't want to deal with. Feel that our families are broken beyond repair. I know this is true in my family, and I wouldn't be too off base if I said this is probably true in most families here today. Abraham's family was broken. He sent Hagar and her son Ishmael and his son Ishmael off to die at Sarah's command, supported by God. He brought his own son to sacrifice on Mount Moriah. Midrash says, leading to the death of his wife. According to the Midrash, he marries Hagar Keturah. And we find a hint of healing with Ishmael when Ishmael comes to bury Abraham after he dies. We find a healing with the son that he sent away. What does it mean to have it all? Maybe it is to do what the prophet Elijah is supposed to do at the end of days. One of the hardest tasks that the rabbis put off to Elijah because for many it is impossible. To have it all is to heal families. And finally, We know that God has thrown Abraham into an oven, into a river, into war, into deep sorrow, even to the point of murdering his son whom he loves. One can only imagine Abraham's mental health as his arm grabs the eating knife and swings down to bathe it in the blood of his son. What does it mean that Abraham has it all? Not that he lived a calm life, a life without sorrow and pain and infertility, a broken home, but that at the end Abraham was able to find a sort of peace, a sort of healing. We all have parts of us that we know, and parts of us that we struggle to expose even to ourselves. Parts of ourselves that when the trials and tribulations of life push us past our comfort zones into the unknown, which we can only see in the shadows. One of the most read Chabad texts, the Tanya of Rabbi Shneur Zalman of Liadi, says this: as you arouse your heart by facing your shadow, may you find yourself engulfed in a deep and troubling sadness. If so, do not be alarmed. Such sadness arises from and operates within the shadow of self, yet it draws energy from your innate yet hidden desire for God and godliness, and thus kindles your passion for self-transformation. To work with sadness, say to yourself this prayer: I feel utterly removed from God, yet within me is the light of God, desiring only to return to God. Therefore I cry out to God, and God will end the exile of this spark. As this spark reunites with God, so may my selves become known to me, and may shalom come. Or, as you might say to the rabbis leaving that town as they continue their rabbinic journeys, in the words of Rabbi Norman Hirsch, God disturbs us towards our destiny by hard events and by freedom's now urgent voice, which explodes and confirms who we are. We don't like leaving, but God loves becoming. May we all be blessed, as our patriarchs were, Bikol Mikol Kol, with every sense of all. Shabbat Shalom.
Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, tov lehodot l'Adonai. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat, lechagid b'boker chasadecha, ve'emunatcha b'melot, alei asor, alei navel, alei gayan b'chinam. Mizmor shir leyom haShabbat,
Habayim. Welcome to our Shabbat service at Holy Blossom Temple. My name is Ava Rosen, and I am the president of the board of directors of Holy Blossom Temple. So, Rabbi Helfman, you were not alone. It's not American Thanksgiving, even though you're the only rabbi here. But for this Shabbat, we had all the musical voices from Holy Blossom with Cantor Meisner, cantorial soloist, Lindy Rivers, and of course David Gershon and his guitar. So Talia, if this is because of you, that we in the main sanctuary got to have David Gershon and his guitar beside Cantor Meisner, thank you very much. So a special mazel tov to you and your family, as you were called to Torah this morning in honor of your Parach Mitzvah. Mazel tov to the Rohr and Century families on the naming of their daughter. We can all do it together now. Eva, Maeve, Wiley, Century. Mazel tov to the grandparents on the Bima. To our mourners among us, may our presence be a comfort to you. Your community is here for you. A few announcements. First of all, our own Holy Grounds Cafe is now open on a trial basis Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. That means free coffee, free parking, free Wi-Fi in our beautiful Schwartz-Reisman atrium. No reason to go to Starbucks anymore. There will also be a docent-led tour of our renewed spaces at 1 p.m. today at the welcome desk. Anyone, even the guests of both Simchas, are welcome to join. So the few announcements coming up is that next Sunday we have our partnership with the Glenn Gould School of the Royal Conservatory. Please join us in the Mishkan for the second series of our Sunday concerts. Featured performers are Jennifer Routhier, she's a mezzo-soprano, and Alexander Malikov on the piano, and this series is sponsored by Deborah Lebo and Ken Snyder. On Monday, December 2nd, the Center for Arts and Culture of the Schwartz-Reisman Adult Education Program presents Dreaming of a Jewish Christmas, a Canadian documentary film that profiles musicians who make a mark on contemporary culture by writing many of our most beloved Christmas music, even though they were Jewish. Please register online at holyblossom.org. And lastly, in 2 Shabbats, so in 2 weekends, we will have the installation of Rabbi Zachary Goodman. We will also have joining us for scholar in residence, Dr. Gary Zola. He's the executive director of the American Jewish Archives. Kiddush lunch is an important part of our tradition here at Holy Blossom. Please join us in the atrium immediately following services for lunch sponsored by the Rohr family. All are welcome. Guests of the Birnbaum family are invited to a luncheon in the Mishkan. That's up on the second floor. There's either an elevator if you need it or just up our beautiful staircase. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And the installation of Avra as president is next Shabbat here in the main sanctuary, and family service resumes in the youth chapel, or possibly. We'll see where it resumes in next Shabbat, where our location will be. So, it is the tradition of the family service as we are all together that the kids that are here help open the ark. I know we've got capable grandparents there who are very good at sliding those doors, but also I think that they might be a little sticky and they need extra kids' hands to open them. And in order to encourage kids, we always bring to the family service our box of chocolate and some sweetness of Torah.
Thank you so much.
So page 200 as we rise and begin to conclude our service. And if you want chocolate, you got to come and help us open the ark. No one wants chocolate.
Well, sorry, kitties.
Alleluia, Alleluia.
Our thoughts now turn to the mourners amongst our community. Whether you are marking a yahrzeit on this day or have lost a loved one in this past year, we invite you to rise so we can recognize you and be here to comfort you. Today we mark the yahrzeit of Layla Allen, David Appleby, Stanley Blonder, Elsie Bregman, Lisa Brown, Moses Brown, Saul Brown, Morris Kate, Beverly Coleman Lokash, Matadyahu Drill, Saul Eisen, Celia Eisenberg, Arnold Epstein, Dorothy Friedman, David Freifeld, Diane Gilman, Eugene Gross, Alice Herman, Norman Kaplan, Victor Kent, Adele Killen, Harry Lightman, Rebecca Luboda, Barney Morris, Philip Mossoff, Bella Olsberg, Cecile Pearl, Phyllis Perlman, David Perlmutter, Frank Rebick, Julia Ruby Lean, Herbert Sherman, Jay Schulman, Samuel Silver, Rose Silverman, Kelly Silverstein, Eva Simon, Joseph Singer, Jerry Solway, Doris Spivak, Carol Sprackman, Kathleen Stutz, Melvin Tartik, Sidney Taub, Jesse Tischler, Morris Vigoda, Clara Warsh, Harris Weinberg, Elaine Weiner, Saul Wintraub, Edith Woodrow, and Beatrice Zach. We too remember those who've died most recently, and whose families are in the period of Shloshim: Ethel Bain, Alex Berkovich, Jerry Borins, Henrietta Chesney, Arnold Getz, Samuel Hirschhorn, Ann Kosnitz, Saul Mayers, Marilyn Smith, Joanne Steinberg, and Howard Tile. Are there other names to be mentioned? We rise now as a community in support with our mourners as we join together. Yit Gadal V'Kadash Shmei Rabbah V'Yama Divrach Yudhei V'Yamlich Malchutei B'Chayechon V'Yomechon V'Chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael Bagala V'Zman Kariv V'Imru Amen Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mivrach Le'lam Olamei Almaya Yiparach V'Yishtabach V'Yipa'ar V'Ramam V'Yinaseh V'Yitadar V'Yithaleh V'Yithalal Shmei Dekudesha B'Richu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram bi'ama v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imromav, hu ya'asei shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, and comfort to all who are bereaved, as together we say, Amen.
Adon Olam on page 539.
Adon Olam, Hashem Allah, B'Terem Kol, Yitzhak Azai Melech, Shemo Nivra. רוחי בעת אישה ואם רוחי יביאתי אדוני באוהלה אדוני למה שמלך בטרם כל יחידים אין הסבא וכל התמלך ולמי ואחרי כתבתו לבדו ימלוך הרב והוא היה בהוד הוא יהיה בתמלך אדוני למה שמלך בטרם כל יחידים אין הסבא וכל התמלך ומוליכה אחרי כתבתו לבדו ימלוך הרב והוא היה בהוד בתפארה והוא היה בהוד בתפארה
Adonai Oz Amo Yitain, Adonai Yivarechet Amo Shalom. May God bless our people with continued strength as we have so many simchas on this day and such beautiful music with Nadia and David and everyone coming together. And may God bless our people with continued wholeness and everything and peace. And together we say, Amen. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min ha'aretz.
Shabbat shalom.